Welcome back, folks. For this video, we'll take a look at the Kanonenjagdpanzer 105. So this is going to be a premium tier 8 German tank destroyer. It is practically the same as the current Kanonenjagdpanzer, replacing the 90mm for 105 L7 copy. And that's pretty much it. It has the same mobility, the same armor, camo, view range, gun constraints, aim time, accuracy, dispersion of movement, and health. And the only difference is the penetration, the alpha, and the DPM. And that's it. So it becomes a quagmire because it's actually a separate vehicle file. Now normally, there should be just one vehicle and one vehicle file with that vehicle. You have different guns within that file to distinguish different weaponry. But for this vehicle, there are two vehicle files. So it's actually a separate vehicle, but it's using the same hull with just different guns. So how would that work out for those who already have the 90mm version? Will they get a replacement, a copy, or will they just be like, yeah, you have the old version, buy the new version? So that would suck, right? So who knows, but I doubt Wargaming is that generous. I mean, for example, the FE4202 switch on the EU server, you had to work a marathon to get it for free, whereas for the North American server, you just got it for free. So who knows, but this is a premium tier 8. It costs a lot of money too, so hopefully for those who already have the 90mm version, hopefully you guys get another copy, or just get the upgrade, but hopefully you just get the gold refund, or 2 copies. That would be great. So as for the vehicle, it's a pretty tank destroyer, and in my honest opinion, I think this thing is better than the AMX Kanonenjagdpanzer Assault 105 or the STRV S1. So now we're seeing a slew of new vehicles at tier 8 to add to the option of grinding credits or crew training. So originally, traditionally, we used to have heavy tanks or medium tanks for the credit grind at tier 8. But now we have a bunch of light tanks coming out and tank destroyers. So preferring on your playstyle to get more credits. There's not going to be tier 8 artillery. No. So yeah, Kanonenjagdpanzer. It's a pretty tank destroyer, always loved it, but the gun is pretty underwhelming for the 90mm. Now, it's 105, so a lot more punchier and has more bite to it. So yeah, just a different gun model, and surprisingly, that changes the outlook of this vehicle a lot, like really a lot. So here you can see that with the comparison tool, there are actually 2 vehicle files, one's for the original 90mm and one's for the 105. So yeah, it's not like getting the IS-6 and having the IS-3's BL-9 onto it, and that's a new vehicle file. That's just not fair for those who already have the vehicle, right? So yeah. Oh well. And here are the main stats for the Kanonenjagdpanzer 105. So as you can see with the collision model, this vehicle has no armor, only 30mm at the front and at the sides. So high explosive rounds will penetrate and hurt. The roof armor is only 8mm, so artillery hits or even splashes will ruin your day. About 500 damage and 25 seconds of stun, so you don't want that. But fortunately, this vehicle is very flat, it's very stealthy, and it's based off of a light tank chassis, so it's fast. It's fast to get into position to snipe and run away just as quickly. So it's a traditional sniper tank destroyer. Now taking a look at the other stats, very high penetration, APCR default ammo, so this is a premium tank. But it doesn't need to have a lot of gold shells to penetrate and make credits. So premium tank destroyers usually make a lot more credits if they deal a lot more damage against other vehicles than medium tanks or heavy tanks, because they have less penetration, obviously. So yeah, that's pretty good. But if you do face large vehicles like Type 5s or Mouses, the gold shell is high explosive anti-tank at 330mm a pen. Yeah, that's going to chew through a lot of the super heavy armors. So make sure you aim and hit the targets, but the accuracy 0.307 and 1.73 seconds of aim time. That's insane for this gun. So it's snapshot like crazy. Default alpha is 390, so it's standard universal for the L7, so it's alright, but the DPM is actually not bad for the accuracy, for the aim time, and the penetration. About 2,200. So that's 2,450 with the rammer. And if you have good crew with Brothers in Arms, Vince, that's about 2,600. So reloads every 9 seconds or so, but it's very fast in terms of shell velocity, so it will hit. It's very accurate, and this thing snapshots like crazy. So this gun is dramatically a lot better than the 90mm. A lot better. And holy crap, this shell velocity, whew, about 50% more than the average. So don't even lead your shots, just point and click. Right click, left click, you'll hit. So dispersion on movement is not great. Obviously, it's not a medium tank, so don't shoot this thing on the move. You're not supposed to. Gun elevation is a little bit wonky, only 15 degrees, so make sure you don't reverse down a slope as often. But 8 degrees of gun depression, that's pretty good for hull down. So peekaboo and run away. But what's pretty good about this vehicle is the gun arc, the gun constraints. It's 15 degrees to each side, and that's very comfortable than like 6 degrees to each side. So if you have played vehicles like the ARL V39 or the Churchill gun carrier or the Panzer IV toaster, those vehicles have pretty narrow gun arcs. So you have to shift the vehicle to aim the gun at running fast targets across the map. So that negates your camouflage rating as well as binoculars, making you more visible to being shot at. But this gun arc, it's pretty good. So goes for the hull traverse, 46 degrees per second. So this thing basically turns like a medium or slow light tank. So that's pretty good as well. 19.23 horsepower per ton ratio. Yeah, that's fast. 70 kilometers per hour top speed, 20 reverse, very fast. Yeah, very good terrain resistance in comparison to the horsepower per ton ratio. So in conjunction, this thing shifts, like really shifts, and doesn't get bogged down like the AMX Kanonenjagdpanzer Assault. So yeah, it has more health too, by 20%, about 200, than the AMX Kanonenjagdpanzer Assault and the STRV S1, the 105mm counterparts of other tank destroyer, premium tank destroyers, but it has more health. And the view range, it's alright, average, so put binoculars, you'll be fine, but this thing has camo, 41.4%, that's like 1% less than the Swedish vehicles. And you don't have to fumble, you don't have to fiddle around with the siege mode, you can just park, shoot, and run away without having to press the hull lock and wait like 2 seconds in order to shoot, and press the hull lock again and wait another 2 seconds to run away. That's pretty irritating. So yeah, this thing is fast to adjust to targets, snipe, and then run away. So I think it's a lot better than the STRV S1. So it doesn't require that big of a skill gap, doesn't require to have that good of a map awareness to adjust your timing and in order to have the maximum benefits of running away or shooting at targets. So this is pretty good, but let's compare it with the STRV S1 and the AMX Kanonenjagdpanzer Assault. So with the STRV S1, you don't have as much penetration or DPM, but this thing has better horsepower per ton ratio and better terrain resistance and better top speed, a lot better top speed, and a lot better hull traverse. So escape with this vehicle is a lot better, and it doesn't require to have the situational bounciness of the STRV S1's hull. Yeah, you could say the STRV S1 could bounce a few shots, but it's only pertaining to the 3 calibers of the 30mm armor. So what if they have a 100mm gun, like the T-44? You'll be penetrated, regardless. So I would rather have better mobility to run away faster than have situational armor, where you could bounce like 88mm guns from the Panther, but not from the T-44 or any other vehicles with 122s. So yeah, alright, view range is better. Camo is only 0.8% less. That's a big deal. It has more health. Alright, it turns a lot faster, but this is not the siege mode. So yeah, I think it's better than the STRV S1, mainly because you don't have to mess around with the siege mode, and that's a big deal. Now let's compare this with the AMX Kanone Assault 105. So you do have more health, and this thing is sneakier than the French version. Same view range, not as good accuracy, but 0.307. That's nothing to scoff at, but it's faster to aim and has a wider gun constraint, so it's more comfortable to shoot. Better penetration, better DPM, not as fast in terms of shell velocity, but you have 11 more rounds of the 105. And you do have better terrain resistance, like half of the AMX Kanone Assault. That's huge. And this thing is 15 kilometers per hour faster, and turns a lot faster as well. So in my honest opinion, this vehicle is a lot better than the French counterpart or the Swedish counterpart. It's more forgiving, it's a lot faster, and the gun's just as good, if not better. So yeah, compare this to the original Kanonenjagdpanzer. They only changed the gun. That's it. That's practically it. The same gun, the same dispersion, accuracy, aim time, better for the movement a little bit at full gun movement, traversing, but it has less horsepower per turn ratio because the weight of the gun. Otherwise, it's mostly the same. Same health, same module health, view range, camo, radio. Same, weighs a little bit more, but that's because of the gun. Better penetration, a lot better penetration by 30mm. Not as good DPM, but it's only about 200. That's a small trifling matter, doesn't matter that much. A lot faster shell velocity, larger caliber gun. And what's also important on the original Kanonenjagdpanzer is the gold shell sucks compared to the normal AP. So AP is 238, gold shell is 250, barely better, and it doesn't have the normalization of 5 degrees for the high explosive anti-tank round. So this thing is mostly useless against like vehicles such as the Mouse or Type 5. So pretty crazy how you switch the gun around, and it makes a lot of difference. So the vehicle is already good enough in terms of mobility and the accuracy, but the gun's just not that great enough to become a tank destroyer's gun. So now the 105 L7, yeah, it's crazy. And there you go, folks, the Kanonenjagdpanzer 105. It's even more annoying, in my honest opinion, than the AMX Kanone Assault or the STRV S1. So it's practically a E25 at tier 8. Doesn't have the preferential matchmaking, but the gun's just as good. So it will annoy a lot of players who don't know where the invisible shells are coming from, and they will be pissed. Also, it's a premium vehicle. It makes more credits and crew XP, and it doesn't have the setback of no penetration. The gun's very good, it's very fast. The only downside is don't get hit, don't get spotted, but you have a lot of the camo's just as good as the STRV S tanks. Holy crap. So I think this vehicle is a lot easier to use. It's a lot more comfortable, wider gun arc. You do have gun depression as well, high penetration, high accuracy, fast aim time, 1.7 seconds, just snapshot. And yeah, it's very good for a crew training or credit grinding premium tank at tier 8. So I do recommend getting this vehicle, but it's currently a quagmire because what about those who already have the 90mm version? So hopefully Wargaming is generous enough to give those who already have the 90mm version another copy or a switch or go refund like with the trading system, but 100% refund, not the 50% back. That's stupid. That's bullcrap. So we'll see, but yeah, if you love German tank destroyers, if you love the Raumtail-Borsig, or if you love the Waffenträgers, or even the Ferdinands or Jagdtigers, this is a pretty good crew trainer. So we haven't taken a look at the actual crew, but it is the same as with the original Kanonenjagdpanzer 90mm. So you don't have a radio operator, you only have one loader, but yeah, that's the same as the Raumtail-Borsig, I believe. So yeah, but there you go, folks. The new Kanonenjagdpanzer 105. So this is a pretty good vehicle. But thank you guys for watching this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.